Hello everyone. It's James again. And today, I want to talk briefly about the shaming men do to each other. You see, shaming is a big part of narcissistic abuse. Shaming. Then blaming actually. Because it puts the ownership of the abuse. The abusee is receiving. On the abusee being deserving and at fault for this abuse. I made a couple of older videos regarding shaming and blaming years back. I will leave them in the description box below, so you can check them out after you watch this video. That being said, though this is a tactic of the narcissist, there are men and women alike that use this as a normal tactic to gain some sort of life leverage over another person, if you can call it that. I guess dominance would be a better word for it. And men love to do this to other men. At least men that are asleep in the matrix anyways. Here's a great example of this. Let's say a man gets cheated on by his wife or girlfriend. Now, if this man has a real close friend that understands how life really works, there's a good chance he will find a great deal of understanding and support from such a friend. However, if this friend is one of those henpecked men we talked about that pretty much defends their way of living and being controlled by their wives or girlfriends, or this guy thinks he's Mac of the Year or something like that. Either or. Both sides of the coin will tell this newly cheated on man that it was his fault he was cheated on, citing he was too nice, and that he didn't have enough of an itch. And if he had more of an itch, it wouldn't have happened to him. This is the wannabe bad boy talking here. The wannabe Mac of the Year. They will say he must not have been satisfying her. That's why she cheated. And if he was a man and controlled her and did this magic trick type of mind suggestion on her, she would have been faithful. Then on the other side of the coin, you have the henpecked men. They might make it seem like maybe this cheated on man wasn't a good enough provider. Maybe saying, hey, you lost your job this year, and have been on unemployment for 6 months. What do you expect your wife to do, man? They will say ridiculous stuff like this. And both sides of this coin, in my humble opinion, are speaking utter nonsense. Never once saying the wife or girlfriend cheated because they are a jerk dirtbag that never really loved this man to begin with. Now I will say, for both men and women alike, being too nice isn't a good thing. Because then you fall into a category of a people pleaser. And narcissists love to take these types of people for long and painful rides. But on the other side of things, healthy people avoid such individuals because, in all honesty, the people pleaser, though they might not see it, they are behaving in a toxic way. Now, with that being said, the people pleaser is often sought out and later cheated on by someone that never loved them to begin with. And notice this people pleaser was a good mark or target. And that makes the person that took advantage of such a person a scumbag. Now, does this people pleaser have some things to fix? Yes. But being a complete jerk themselves isn't the answer. It's called making sure the person you are giving yourself to is the right person. And don't be ashamed or afraid to help and love yourself first, as the Bible tells us. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. But telling this person that it was their fault they got cheated on is utter nonsense. That's like saying that if the man did this or that, the woman he was with wouldn't have been a self-absorbed narcissist. I'm sorry to say, there's no behavior you can change about yourself that will make a narcissist love you and be faithful to you. However, you can change some things about yourself that will help lower the chance of you getting entangled with one again. And if you do get entangled, you will hopefully see things faster and be able to escape before too much damage is done. But it just amazes me how other men will say to a man that is down because his wife just left him for another man, that he must not been doing his job. Let me tell you, I've seen it all. I've seen this happen to unattractive men. I've seen it happen to men that look like models. I've seen it happen to rich men. And I've seen it happen to poor men. And most of the time, you hear the shaming language. instead of saying what it really is. She cheated on this man because she wasn't behaving like a good woman. And if this man was too nice, or whatever, you don't think he was like that when he met her? You don't think that's the reason why she picked him to begin with? So wait a minute. A woman purposely picks out a man because she sees he has some character weaknesses she can exploit for her benefit. And her cheating on him was his fault. Instead of she was a scumbag from day one. Now regarding the nice guy thing. I do agree many men that only received half of the courtship story at the hands of a single mother. Namely the single mother that raised them. Is probably the reason why they are a people-pleasing target they are. But to my women viewers. Sadly men are told by our society they have to be darn near schizophrenic. In order to deal with a woman. Men are told to treat women like garbage. Because sadly ladies. It works. That's why the worst men out there are helping to populate this earth. But good men are finding even when they stop being a people pleaser. If they are still a good man. They get nowhere. And then you get told by your male peers. And other women actually. You know why she cheated on you? You are too nice. She needed a man to excite her. Which is loosely translated into treating her like garbage because many women of today enjoy that. Sadly enough. But no one says to this man. You know. You're a good guy. And though you might want to fix that people pleaser bit. But other than that you're a good person. And this woman picked you out of a crowd because she noticed you were a good man. And she used you. And you didn't deserve that. She was and is a jerk. But sadly that doesn't happen. And what goes on when the man is blamed? By the woman that cheated on him. And by his friends. And other women around. What goes on is. The woman that cheated gets off scot-free by society's standards. There's no ownership. And this is the real problem here. The shaming and blaming is the narcissist's way of doing you wrong. And then projecting that blame onto you to own and keep. Instead of them. The one that really did the wrongdoing. I just wanted to talk about this. Because it's something I've noticed for a long time. You could look like a model. And be nice and responsible. And be told. She left you because you were too nice. Or she cheated because you weren't doing something right. Instead of she was a jerk. Instead of she probably doesn't value love. And she didn't value you. Again this happens to all types. Good looking. Non-good looking. And the answer and ownership usually falls back on the man oddly enough from other men. Well that was my 2 cents. What are your thoughts on the matter? I would like to know. Oh and don't forget to check out these older videos I made on shaming and blaming in the description box below. You might find them helpful. With that being said, let's continue to pray for wisdom. Let's continue to pray for strength. And let's continue to pray for courage. And as always, bye for now. And be good to yourself.